In crime news tonight, Great Falls police are investigating a suspicious death. It happened in the 2000 block of River Drive North. Officials have been at the scene since Saturday. They tell us there are a lot of rumors surrounding what happened, but they can only confirm a few details at this time. Only one person was found dead. It is being investigated as suspicious. Cause or manner of death have yet to be determined. The air raid sirens blared once again in Israel's largest city today as Palestinian militants fired more missiles. The death toll continues to rise, with estimates now at 1,200, with 9 Americans among the dead. MTN's Rachel Fortunato spoke with members of the Montana Jewish Project about the Israel-Gaza conflict.
The Montana Jewish Project has been closely watching the conflict in Israel. They understand that the Montana Jewish community has personal ties over there.
So many Jewish Americans have family or friends in Israel. It's a smaller world.
Montana may be over 6,000 miles away from Israel, but the events are being felt by Montana families. Rebecca Stanfeld, the director of the Montana Jewish Project, has heard from people that have family being called to the reserves and people who have experienced losses from these events.
Tap into that feeling of empathy for the innocent lives that were lost.
She encourages the Montana community to just be aware and understanding of what their friends and neighbors are going through and the feelings this can bring up.
And recognizing that your friends and your neighbors might be a little more on edge when they're going into a synagogue or when they're, going into a Jewish community center, that this is a time that's really difficult.
Finally, she encourages the Jewish community to get help from leaders when needed.
We want to encourage people in Montana who are Jewish to reach out to their congregation leaders or their rabbis because this is bringing up powerful feelings for many of us.
In Helena, Rachel Fortunato, MTN News.
Israel has been locked in a cycle of violence with Palestinian militant groups for decades. But what happened on Saturday was unprecedented. Hundreds of Hamas militants broke through the steel and concrete barrier that Israel has used for decades to contain Palestinians inside Gaza. Now, as fighting continues, here's what we know. Some 100,000 Israeli reservists were called up to fight as battles with Hamas militants continue. The Israeli Defense Forces say fighter jets and helicopters, aircraft and artillery have struck over 500 Hamas and Islamic Jihad terrorist targets in Gaza Strip. According to the Israeli infrastructure minister, he ordered crews to cut off the water supply from Israel to Gaza. Electricity and fuel have already been cut off to that region as well. In response to the conflict, the Secretary of the U.S. Department of Defense has released a statement. He says the United States government will be rapidly providing the Israeli Defense Forces with additional equipment and resources, including munitions. The first security assistance will be arriving in the coming days. Meanwhile, several warships have been directed that way, and they